Well, the national security strategy, of course, is a document required by law where the president and his administration lay out his views. It is therefore an ideological document. It looks at national security from a number of different angles, from homeland security to military security, and of course, economic security as well. It reflects many of the things that he said, actions he took, and the tone he set in the first term, and also in the campaign during the 2024 election cycle. So in that sense, much of this is not surprising. The tone of the national security strategy this year is rather unconventional, I think many could say, the style, but it is very consistent with previous iterations of the document, even if this particular national security strategy has a somewhat unconventional approach in terms of what it says, particularly about Europe. It talks about Europe remaining strategically and culturally vital to the United States, and it talks about transatlantic trade, the most important trading relationship in the world and in the history of the world. The largest trade and investment partnership is between the United States and Europe. It talks about that relationship remaining one of the pillars of the global economy and of American prosperity. And in that sense, I think it's important to dig down and look at the fact that the national security strategy says that European sectors, from manufacturing to technology to energy, remain among the world's most robust. Europe is home to cutting-edge scientific research on world-leading cultural institutions. As the national security strategy says, not only can we not afford to write Europe off, doing so would be self-defeating for what this strategy, and therefore this administration, is saying it aims to achieve. I think people are struck by the fact that the document does not describe the threat from Russia, a country that has invaded its neighbor. It doesn't describe the hybrid war that Russia is carrying out against not just Europe, but including the United States, the cyber and other attacks that we are all contending with. But officially, most countries have remained relatively muted. Publicly, there has been a great outcry. If you look at columns and commentary across the political spectrum in the media, it's certainly in my conversations with diplomats at the European Union, which is heavily criticized in the document, and across European countries, both EU members and non-members, including the United Kingdom, there is a concern that this reflects a real change in the transatlantic relationship. Just as the United States is about to celebrate its 250th anniversary, there's a feeling that the treatment that Europe gets in this is somehow recognized as a change in Europe's tone, a question about trust in that relationship. It remains a document that can be used for further discussion and discourse, understanding that it is inherently ideological, political, designed to alarm, to create reactions. At the Wilson Center, those are the kinds of things we want to discuss. We want to be able to use Wilson as a platform to look deeply at what the national security strategy says and how that applies to what's actually happening in foreign policy, in diplomatic relations, in military relations, and affecting the security that is both at home, abroad, in a military sense, and in an economic sense.